Hi, guys. Welcome to our Monday night Lifewave introduction call. I am your host, Tammy, along with Annie and Marylou, and we are so delighted to welcome you to this incredible presentation where for some of you, you are learning about this amazing technology that you can add to your health resource toolkit. Some of you are here because you are wellness zealots and you love to be up on the newest technology and the newest resources because you really care about your health and vitality and you want to protect it as much as possible, support your system so you can have as many quality years as possible. And some of you have run into some health challenges and you're hoping this might be a reliable resource for you. And for you, the answer is yes. Most of us that got in started with this, we had some concerns. We had run into some issues, and we're so delighted, as you will hear this evening, how this technology really was an incredible support for helping us get the health concerns addressed that we each had. And I know it will do the same for you. So whatever reason you're here or someone just dragged you and said, you got to come, it's such a fun community. It is. I hope you realize that we look at all of you like family. And our biggest concern is that you have a long, healthy, happy life and that we are here to support you as you use this technology and share it with others because it truly is. For some, it's quality of life. For others, it's life-changing. And you'll get to hear about that tonight. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have a testimonial time because the most important thing for all of us and when we're making a decision is we want to hear what people that are using this, what their experiences are. And so we'll share that first. Annie will lead that time. And then Marylou will go over the science and tech. And then we'll have a Q&A time. So let's get going tonight. I'm delighted to introduce Annie to lead our testimonial time. Annie, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and then introduce your friends.
Thank you, Tammy, so much. Good to see everybody on here. My name's Annie DeCoker, and I have been involved in this very rare form of skydiving for over 20 years, where we get to put our parachutes together. And I have had one bad landing where I had kind of run into a little tornado near the ground. And I met a friend a long time ago, Kathy McCarthy, who we get to hear her story here in a little bit. But the patches has really helped me. I had a crazy thing where I got all burned up by my own fever of 108 degrees. And I had, the doctors, I literally was declared dead. I had no skin. I had a lot of issues with energy, my vision, my eyes, my mucus on my eyes, my eyelashes, scarring, digestion. The patches helped me so much with all of that. And the bad landing accident left me with big broken bones. So tailbone, both of my pelvises broken apart, and my femur snapped in half. And so they said I would have a lot of aches and pains with all the issues with that. But with the patches, I actually don't have any at all. In fact, since I've been patching, I have more world records and have competed to represent the US at the world meet at a higher level and have been privileged to be put into more of a leadership position because I have more stamina, more strength, more focus, and my eyes are getting better. I have less irritation. I used to be so tired with all the recovery from the past problems that I would have to like put my head on the steering wheel at a stoplight and just like take a little mini nap in between red lights. That's how tired I was all day. But yeah, now I can drive from Phoenix to Indianapolis. I can drive for hours. I look at how is this possible? I still am not tired. So I have to force myself to stop and rest. And that's what the patches do. It's amazing what your little stem cells can do for you. But I wanted to introduce my friend Kathy that I had known from skydiving a long time ago. Um, Kathy McCarthy. She is kind of a wellness guru, and I was very intimidated to share the patches with her because she's so knowledgeable. But I finally was able to get up the courage to share this amazing little. She kind of humored me, like looking at me like, "What's this little sticker? Are you serious? Like whatever." But I guess I'll humor you. But go ahead, Kathy.
Hi there. Thanks for asking me to share my story. And I'm going to try to spit this out quickly because there are so many things. I started patching about 3.5 years ago, And there are so many things that I could list off that, I could give 20 minutes worth, and it's all so meaningful. But I'm going to touch on a couple of things. In about 2012, I developed neuropathy in both of my feet. And for anybody who doesn't know what that feels like, it's not a pain so much. It's like a constant electric shock, like pins and needles, like when you fall asleep on your leg or something, and all the time, worse or better, but all the time. And in 2020, before the whole COVID thing even started, a strep throat that I had developed into a horrible infection. I didn't know what exactly was going on. All I knew was that I had a constant crushing pain right over my heart. And then I started to have vertical double vision. My left arm went numb, and I'm not a go to the doctor person. And I sure don't go to the emergency room unless I'm broken or dying. And Annie knows that, because one time when I did get broken, I wasn't badly hurt enough and I still didn't go to the emergency room. So I went to the ER thinking they thought I was having a heart attack. 5 hours later, they said, you have pericarditis. Pericarditis is the sac around the heart filled with fluid, and the pain was unbelievably agonizing. And they said, look, this is going to take 4 to 6 months for it to gradually dissipate the pain, which sounded terrible, and they were right. But they also said, for the rest of your life, anytime you kind of overly exert yourself, you're going to be reminded, because there's scar there. And then, it'll just be a minor version of this. So those two things, I just knew that was just going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life. You just figure it out and deal with it. There you go. And then in December of 2021, when Annie was staying at our house and said, hey, I'm gonna leave this on the counter, put one on every day. It's a funny story, but I'll leave it at that. But I had re-injured a shoulder that I had had surgery 10 years prior. And I didn't want to put it on the back of my neck because my nerves back there won't. So she said, well, let's put it on your shoulder. Silly sticker, right? 3 days later, the pain was so significantly reduced. I want to say like 80% reduced. My husband and I looked into it. Annie showed us the different packages, because I'm skeptical. I'm a science-minded person, and skeptical means I will try it to prove that it either works or it doesn't. Because, we all bump into people and they go, well, I don't know, I'm skeptical. No, you're not. You're closed-minded. Because if you were skeptical, you would try it and see if it works or not. So we looked at this and said, let's get, a big bundle of them, better value. And then we got them for several months for both of us. Within a couple of weeks, I took notes because I don't want to get off track, because there's so much good. Within a couple of weeks, I woke up one morning in January and my husband said, honey, do you realize you didn't need to wear socks for your foot neuropathy? You've been sleeping in socks for over 10 years. And that really, I don't even know when it left, but it left, And a couple of weeks later, we're both thinking, I know everybody globally, we went through trauma in 2020. I wouldn't say I was depressed though, but after like 3-4 weeks of patching, I just had this unbelievable, I feel so good. Honey, do you feel like oddly, he said, yeah, this is great. And that's where we went from, hey, Annie, I don't want to do this as a business, to, oh my gosh, everybody I love needs to feel this way. So, and then actually relative to the because nobody wants to have constant pain over their heart. I just on my own, I went and had what they call a VO2 max cardiopulmonary stress test. As a practitioner, I like to keep track of all my stuff, and I went and paid to have this done. And I pulled out the results. The results, I mean, it's an incline treadmill that gets steeper and faster, steeper and faster, steeper and faster until you call uncle. And when she printed it out, I was 63 at the time. When she printed it out, she goes, look, it says right here, you are in the superior fitness category for your age. And that was exciting. Wow. But y'all, halfway home, I realized I didn't have any chest pain. And then I realized, holy smokes, I don't know when last time was that I did have the chest pain. I don't know when it left. it just was gone. And, you know, I've got a lot of, you know, great, like after 6 months, no longer having to get up 2 or 3 times a night to go to the bathroom. Now it's 2 or 3 times a month. I got tons of those things, but to not have pain in your chest for something that the emergency room said, yeah, you're just going to have to deal with this for the rest of your life. Sorry. You know, so that's my story.
That is so
Incredible.
incredible, Kathy. I cannot believe that. Wow.
It's emotional.
It's very emotional. I want to introduce also Dr. Joyce Hunt Brown, which ironically I only know because of Kathy introducing and sharing these patches with her friend, who shared them with Leslie, who shared them with Dr. Joyce. And
Her
Dr.
book,
Yep,
her
there's
book.
her book. One of her six, she's got like 6 or 7 books. This is Dr. Joyce Hunt Brown. She's 91 and a half years young. She's on a mission to change and save lives. She's a certified crisis chaplain. She's a naturopathic medical doctor. She has her very own patented and bounce back chair. And she does an annual suicide prevention event in Hollywood, Florida in September 10th, that you guys need to go to. um, but she has had so many things happen in her life, and I'll let you tell more, especially recently, what the patches have done for you. But she's been through all kinds of trauma, including fibromyalgia, ALS, myasthenia gravis, 8 back surgeries, 5 neck surgeries, lots of scars, paralyzed. But Dr. Joyce, can you tell us a little bit about what you're experiencing with the patches, with your vision and your pain and everything else?
I'm really thrilled to have this opportunity. And I love the fact that it's brought out that we're not trying to sell things to people, because when we know what will help them, the whole world needs that. And I feel very blessed. Actually, my daughter um, introduced me and was telling a little bit about it. And Leslie, it's just been marvelous, the family. But I'm very familiar with stem cells and what they do. I've done over $12,000 worth of stem cells and trying to help with the different things. I've had the auto crashes, the surgeries, and things that I thought I was doing really well. But for whatever reason, I had lost most all of my vision. I was almost totally blind for the last several years. I'm a widow twice. I had one marriage that wasn't good for us, but anyway, a widow twice. And then things happened that I'm almost bleeding in my retina, and so almost totally blind. So I have to make it around the house, lost most of my balance. I was in a power chair for 10 years and looking to get a power chair from my bedroom to the kitchen because I was not being able to walk, and the bounce back chair, which helps in so many ways, but I didn't even have the energy to do it. But I've had all of these different things keeping on, keeping on. And by the way, I don't have a 91, 92-year-old voice. I have some miracles. But one of the biggest things I knew was that we need health, not prescriptions. I don't take people off the prescriptions, but help them to know it's a body that heals. And the $12,000 in stem cells, then it comes back. I was in a lot of pain when I first heard of the patches and decided to give them a try. Now, I'm very aware of frequency. I've worked with some of the top geniuses in the world, Dr. Jerry Tennant and different ones with uh, uh, frequency. So when I heard about them, it just seemed like that was almost impossible, but I was willing to give it a try. So now I don't do anything small. So I got the X39, the X49, hearing what they would do, muscles and all of these things that I'm trying to make all the rest of my life as productive as I can. So what I found is that it within the first week, my pain was gone. I had so much pain all over. And then I'd been to the doctor. My pulse was high, irregular. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about being here and helping everyone and getting the message out. But my blood pressure was 188 over 100. My pulse was 90 and very irregular. And I had all of this pain. And within just a few days of having them on, it was close to a week, but I noticed the pain all of a sudden was just plain gone. And I had so much more energy and felt so much better in so many ways, especially the brain fog. In fact, this morning I had something happen. I've just got to put it in because I felt this morning, oh my mind was racing all these things I want to do, going to Hollywood to be able to get a Lifetime Achievement Award and all these things. My brain was racing. I put the carnosine on this morning, and then back just came calmness and do it a little bit at a time. But being able to share with everyone and seeing the actual myself, I may not say it right, I'll get it down, our collagizer that makes it, helps it, the nutrients with, helps the patches. But I've seen
Color
to be able to,
guys, yeah.
yeah, collagize. Anyway,
Color
to go from, I never even turned the light on when I would go in a room because I would have to feel for everything because my vision was so bad. And then all of a sudden, so I can turn the light on and I can actually see a few things. And I know I still have a long ways to go, but to have the difference of being able to have improvement in the vision. Now I know I have so many other things going in the body, and patches work on where we need it, just like stem cells, they go to where we need it rather than what we would like to do it for. But having all of these different things, the pain better, the irregular heartbeat gone, having the confidence, the joy, and feeling the happy patch. Oh, that's an important one, to feel the real joy. And I have people who are wanting to get on and get on them, knowing they knew me before and they said, I can't believe how much difference you are radiating. I've got to have some of that joy. So I'm just really grateful to be able to share it and looking forward to. And my book of Amazing Heavenly Answers, I have actually been to the other side and back. And I know personally, and another story I'm going to write is how I do know about these patches and the frequencies and what they're doing. But it's available free on the website at hopedoctor.org. But I just want to be able to help where I can. I'm getting ready to go back over to the other side that's coming up. I know that we have limited times, but my time is increasing because of the patches. But I want to reach as many people here and help them because they have the pain and there's no need for all of this extra suffering when these patches of joy and love and success and the testimonials. And I've got a list that could go on and on. I have bone on the knees. I have a torn meniscus, but I'm doing great. And so many other things, you name it, and I've probably had it, but looking forward to getting some of the muscles back and things like that are happening. There's no other way. I think this is marvelous that David Schmidt had this in France and the recognition. And I love Peter's program to learn and hear how we help people. It's just been an amazing, it's like a family, just like you said. It's like a family that I finally found a home with family, that people are interested in helping other people and reaching out and making this world a better place. We're all needed. We all only have so much limited time. And the better we feel, the more we can get out, the more the miracles. I'm known for helping people to reap a miracle, known how to have miracles. And we have the prayer line and have how to have an awesome day and mindset. So important. But the testimonials, when you hear from someone's heart, how they changed and had the miracles. Oh, by the way, my little dog, Kitty Angel, and she was getting she's 10 years old, and she was getting a little slow and sluggish. And I take my patches off and put the other 6 hours on her. And she starts cuddling and jumping up and wanting more love and attention. And we can't have a placebo with the animals, but I'm just getting a good start. And I love to be able to share. Like I said, you name it, I probably had it, but I'm getting over it with love
love
and having them all.
That's so awesome.
I love what you were telling me in the short time that you've been patching, just with a few basic patches, how much your vision has started to restore itself when you didn't even turn any lights on in your house because you couldn't see. And now in the computer and the phone, and you're able to start to see better now. That's
It's a
amazing.
different. I have a goal for even more vision, and anyway, it's a big difference. People don't realize how much they need something until it's gone. But I mean, to not be able to see, find anything, I have to remember where everything is, or it's gone. But to be able to even see anything, that is such an. I have so much scar tissue in the retina. I believe it's helping the scar tissue and um, to dissipate and remove it. And that's some of the great hope with David Smith when he hurt his head on the car and had the big scar. And then Annie, yours, it gives hope to others. And I'm so thrilled to be able to share this with the world. And we're just getting a good start.
Mhm.
Very good. Exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Joyce. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Tammy.
Awesome. Well, those are such incredible testimonies. I just want to reiterate them because I think sometimes there's little tidbits that we catch and many things that we don't miss. Oftentimes we're looking for the thing we can identify with or someone that we love and care about. Annie shared about just a tiny bit about how not only did this give her back the healing that she was looking for and the energy and her skin, but as a world record holder Olympian, she got to pro athlete, she got to not only use this technology to get her health and well-being back, then she was able to get some world records cinch patching. That's pretty amazing. You know, the strength, the stamina, the energy, and actually was better off afterwards. Cathy, you know, I love having practitioners on. Cathy and Dr. Joyce and Cathy shared about having this chest pain, and we can relate when you've had something for a very long time and maybe you've gone to doctors several times and they tell you, sorry, you just have to live with it. Isn't it awesome to know that they could be wrong, that our bodies can do amazing things with the right support? And that Cathy got to experience that her chest pain went away and her shoulder improved. I love that, not getting up 3 times a night. I can appreciate that in my 50s, that is something that for many of us, you know, disrupts our sleep. So how awesome to have your sleep improved because of this technology. So, and neuropathy, you know, Cathy mentioned something that she had lived with such a long time, but then now is seeing great improvement. So I think that's awesome. And Dr. Joyce was sharing about, you know, all of the different things she had. She'd come to a place in her 90s where she probably thought, this is how it is. And certainly doctors had said that. But isn't it delighted that you're never too old to experience miracles? That this technology and our amazing body can do things that defy what normal processes are, and her body's starting to feel youthful, not only having pain go away, real tangible things, you know, her pulse, you know, decrease, her irregular heartbeat, you know, go back to normal, but joy and a sense of purpose and life, the ability now to feel like there's so much more I want to do with my life. You know, she's not on the downward, you know, part of her life. She has even more amazing things that she's going to get done. So what an incredible testimonials those were. And I know you guys are probably wondering now, what is this technology and how does it work? And I'm going to turn it over to my very dear friend, Marylou, to take us through this time. Before we're going to get a video so you guys can hear what the company has to say about this technology, and then she'll explain a little more. But if you guys in the chat, while we're pulling that up, everyone that's been using this, put down one benefit that you have enjoyed using this technology, one benefit that you're enjoying, and I'll pull up our video for the sake of all of our visitors. Share the things that you're experiencing. Okay, let me just my video. Okay. It in screenshot. Marylou, you can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me just put it in screen show mode. Slide
There we
share.
go. Yeah.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing Lifewave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy for improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. Lifewave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality Because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with Lifewave X39. Lifewave.
All right. Thank you, Tammy, for playing that. And thank you guys for the testimonials. Every week I say this, but they truly are amazing. Dr. Joyce, truly inspiring and encouraging. I just love that. And Cathy, amazing with all of your testimonials as well. And of course, Annie, we always love hearing your testimonials. So we'll get into why and how. If you're new on this call, you probably wonder what the heck we're talking about. They're like, well, I don't understand this little patch thing everybody's talking about. Well, it looks like this, if you don't know. So I'll be talking about this little tiny device. It's called, it's just like a sticker, right? It's got a little thing on the back, just like a sticker. You unpeel it and stick it on. Really simple. So I'll go into why and how it works for you guys. So it's patented light technology. I want to tell you that first. So this is science-based company. It is amazing that it's science-based. We have over 200 patents and we have over 90 clinical trials. It is, and this is David Schmidt on this, and he is the sole inventor of this. And he's also the owner and president of this company. So you guys, I know some of you might not have heard of Lifewave. And I always joke that I think it's the best kept secret around. We're not a new company. I think we're the longest startup company. We're a 20-year-old company. But a lot of people have not heard of us. And it's amazing because in 2004, he worked at the Navy SEALs. He was doing some work for the government and they knew he was good in crisis management. And he was doing that originally for the submarines. And then they asked him to develop a product that was non-invasive, no drugs, no caffeine, nothing going into the body, and to keep the Navy SEALs more alert on their missions. And they said, could it be done? And of course, we know the answer to that. Thank goodness it was done. That was the first patch that he came out with. It was the energy patch. And so from that point on, it's grown over to over 70 countries. It is a global company now. We have about 10 different patches. And then I'm going to do the next slide, Tam. And they're all on regenerative technology. This is one of the patents. This is the X39 patch. And I'm just going to read this little part here. It is as a result of elevated copper peptides, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing, and other beneficial health effects. So what does this all mean? This is a patent that was in 2020, you'll see the patent on there. So what is a patent? A patent is something we have to prove over and over, right? It's not just like, oh, my grandfather felt better, we're going to give you a patent, right? We have to actually prove it scientifically with clinical trials, and we have to prove what we're claiming. And so we claim that the X39, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're claiming that it actually activates a peptide in your body called GHK. And with that, it actually GHKCU actually activates stem cell activation. So what is all this about? Well, when I told you before, you just stick this little patch on your skin. It's really easy. You go like this, you stick it on, and that's about all you do, right? So how does it work? It's called phototherapy. We've used phototherapy for years. You might have had phototherapy done like on different infrared things when you were, maybe if you had a child or you yourself might have had a high bilirubin. They would put phototherapy lights on you for your bilirubin to go down. That's phototherapy. There's all different kinds of phototherapy now. You can get it from saunas, red light therapy, all these different pictures, and they're safe and non-invasive, and they're pretty affordable solutions, right? And so the next one is the X39 light technology. So this is, as I just stuck it on my hand here, I have a bunch of them on me, but that's one I just stuck on. It's a form of wearable light technology. But so no external light source is needed. So you don't have to go into the outside for it to be activated like by the sun or anything. Your own body heat and body light actually activate it internally on its own, right? And so nothing goes into the skin that I mentioned before. Non-transdermal just means that nothing goes into your skin. Okay, I'll compare it to a transdermal patch, which might be like a birth control patch or a nicotine patch. Those have chemicals that go into your body. Non-transdermal just means that it's like kind of like a sticker, nothing goes on. Obviously no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, So what does that mean? It means that there's zero contraindications with your body because nothing's going into your body. It's just telling your body to do something. And why is this so important? Why is the X39 so important for your body's healing? Well, as I mentioned before, the X39 elevates GHKCU, which is the holy grail of healing. And I hadn't ever heard of GHKCU before I got involved with Lifewave. I'm like, what is that? It's so sciencey. And I'm actually a science type of person. But what does it do? Basically, it connects with all of your systems. It works with your hair and skin, lung health. I know Tammy, she had really bad asthma and it helped her lungs incredibly. Brain health, cognitive functions, immunity, stem cell activation. It just works with every system in your body. That's what the GHKCU does. So why is that important? And why do we even care about stem cells, right? Like, what is stem cells all about? I know Dr. Joyce mentioned stem cells. She spent $12,000 on stem cell therapy. Why? Like, what is so good about stem cells? Well, stem cells are the only changeable cell we have in our body. And what is that means that if something's going wrong in our body or something's just a little off, we can change that through stem cells, right? So what happens when you're born? You have literally a billion stem cells, you guys. And this is a little cute little baby picture here. We have a ton of stem cells, and that's why we heal very quickly when we're young. Like if you get a scratch or something on your body, then you stick a Band-Aid on it, the next day it's healed, you feel great. As you age, I'm 60, and I've noticed that if I get a scratch, it might have taken me weeks to heal. For like infected, we have thinner skin, it doesn't work as well. So by age 30, those billion stem cells turn into about half as many that we were born with. And unfortunately, by the time we're 60, which is our age, I barely have any left. might have 10% left, right? But not anymore because I use the patches. But if I wasn't using the patches, I would only have about 10%. And so the stem cells help with pain. It helps heal your pain. It helps with recovery. So as you age, the reason you age is because your stem cells get tired. They go dormant, and you don't have many. So you start noticing, like I mentioned, the thin skin, fine lines, hair loss. Your sleep might be affected. You will probably notice weight gain, especially in the midsection through menopause, or if you're a guy, they also get weight gain as well from inflammation. And so how do the stem cells work? Well, they're a powerful resource, right? As I mentioned before, they go anywhere your body needs it, not just to one area. If your body needs it in your arm, your shoulder, your knee, it'll go all through your body and go where it's needed. So basically, it'll go to the weakest part of your body first. So if you have a sleep issue and maybe a pain issue, it'll probably go to your sleep issue first. And that's because your body cannot heal unless you have a really good sleep pattern, and because your body can renew, regenerate while you're sleeping. So you might have different issues. So when you wear the patch, it'll actually tell your stem cells to go, to the weakest link first. They're called pluricells, so they're not assigned yet. So they're like, oh, where am I going to go today? So they're like, oh, I have a sickness today, or I hurt my back, or my cognitive function's a little off. So it'll go to wherever it's needed the most. So you might not feel anything working with you guys. You might not feel it working on your kidney, your liver, your pancreas, whatever's going on in your pathways, right? When you take a vitamin, you don't really feel that working either, but we know it works. We have the scientific studies that tell you it works. We don't have to prove it. This patch, we don't have to prove. We just have to introduce it to people, okay? We just have to stick it on our body, right? We've done blood work. We've done brain mappings. We've done urinalysis. We get EKGs, EEGs. So everything's like, we do a lot of this testing. And so how do we wear it? It's so simple. We just put it easy. Like I just took it on my hand. They actually will work everybody, but they will always work behind the neck where that lady's putting it there on the C7, which is right, that little bone there, and below your belly button. They're all been clinically tried there, so they all work in those places. Not saying that they won't work any other place as well. You put them on in the morning, take them off at night, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. They're waterproof. And so you can take a shower, you can go swimming with them, whatever. And you just repeat it daily. When you're done with them, after 12 hours, you can pull it off and you can put it on an animal if you want. We talked a little bit about animals on this call. You can stick it on an animal. And then after the 24 hours, you can throw it in the trash and just use the next patch the next day. There's a patch of 30 in the sleeve, so they're disposable. And what are the benefits? I'll go through again. Enhance the sports performance. If you're an athlete, you don't have to be sick to wear these, you guys. It's actually preventative. So if you want quick recovery, you want more stamina. If you're a sports enthusiast, if you're a marathon runner, if we have so many sports enthusiasts that pro players, we have Olympians that wear this for recovery. And so they have better focus when they're playing, increased energy, improved mental clarity, repairing pain and inflammation, which is a big one. And so those are just things to expect with it. So what happens as soon as you put it on, as soon as you put that patch on, within 24 hours, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That gives you more energy, better sleep, less pain. Within 4 weeks, your new army is activated, which means that some of your critical areas, it's go there and starts already fighting the inflammation and starting with maybe it's organs or something, pathways, it starts going to wherever it's needed. And I love the next one. Within 6 weeks, your brain is starting to balance. If you are one of those maybe anxious people or anxiety or depression, any type of mood change, you can see your brain calming down within 6 weeks, which is amazing. We have the studies to back that up. And then within 3 months, the collagen is increased, and that just repairs your tissues. It's not just a facial thing. It's actually, you need collagen for your joints. As you age, your joints might get like stiff. So you really do need that collagen. And then after 6 months of wearing the patch, you have 8 years younger with your heart health. So those are just kind of really cool. So that's what you can expect when you put the patch on. And then these are just some testimonials. They are just weight loss, skin issues, thicker legs, varicose veins. This is a metabolic issues, scarring. This is cells on the nose. And you can see the difference there before starting the patches. Pretty cool. This one's amazing. If this lady had apnea, and look at her difference is truly amazing. So you think that just everything that your body's dealing with. And as I mentioned, athletes use it. Why? Because there's no drugs and there's no contraindications, and they pass all the doping tests. So we have many professional and Olympians using it, and high schoolers and college kids or whoever's an athlete, they all love to wear them. And of course, we mentioned our little free friends, horses, cats, it doesn't matter what kind of animal you have, stick them on. It could be pigs, it could be cows, horses, dogs, whatever, because they all have a cell and they're good for anybody that has a cell. So the X39 patches are FDA recognized. They are non-transdermal, they're hypoallergenic, 96% effective rate. There's no other product in the world like this because we are patented. This is one of a kind technology, okay? And so that's kind of important to know, right? And so, so how do you get these products in your hand, right? Well, you want to go back to the person that invited you to this. And basically it's really, really simple. We always start with the X39. It comes in a sleeve like that. It's a sleeve like that. It comes with 30 disposable ones. So it's enough for a month's supply. There's Eon. We always start with X39 and Eon is for inflammation, stress reduction, and lowering your cortisol level, and also relaxing your parasympathetic nervous system. So you can calm down a little bit. It's just a really great patch in connection with the X39. If you have pain, you can always add the Icewave in there. If you have pain somewhere in your body, it's a great package like that. And we do have discounts for doing packages. The retail, I think as high as $149, but it's really, if you want to just try it one time for retail, it gives you a 30-day supply for $150, but we can do better than that. We can get you wholesale prices. And then it's called the core package and advanced. And basically it's $295 or $535. $295 is typically for one person. The advanced is more for families, or if you want to give some out, if you want to do the opportunity and share it with other people, it's a great kit for that. It's a little bit better value than the core, but you'll notice that you can get the X39 2 Eon sleeves, which is the anti-inflammatory patch, and the 2 Icewaves, and we can customize it with anything. But you can also get 2 X39s and 2 Eons, right? And you can just customize it. And those are incredibly good values. As you remember, Dr. Joyce mentioned $12,000 for stem cell injections. So that is a lot of information really quickly. So hopefully you gathered some of that. But if you have questions about any of those packages, please contact the person that invited you to this call. And now we are going to turn off the recording, if it was even recorded. And
Hold on.
and so I will stay on to answer questions for a few more minutes.